Hey everyone, last time we talked about the major scale, which is made of two major tetrachords, which just to remind you is whole, whole, half, a whole step apart. So the major scale, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Today we're going to look at a different kind of scale, the minor scale, which has three different variants that we'll get to one at a time. The first one is the natural minor, and it sounds a bit like this. So this is A natural minor, and if we look at the pattern of whole steps and half steps, we have A to B, which is a whole step, B to C, half, C to D, whole, D to E, whole, E to F, which is a half step, F to G, whole step, and G to A, also a whole step. So this is our pattern of intervals for the natural minor scale. Whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. So when I was a student learning theory, I remembered that whole, half, whole repeated twice, back to back, and then there was a whole left over at the end. I used to call it the dangling whole. So this is a good way to figure out how to build any natural minor scale. So let's try that with F. Oops. Bring that down with us. So again, I would suggest putting a note on every line in space first before you start adding accidentals. So we have F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. That is clearly not a scale that we know yet. It's a Lydian scale. Exciting, we'll get to it soon. So now we have to think about whether this fits the whole, half, whole, half, whole pattern. So F to G is a whole step. We're off to a good start. G to A is a whole step, so we need to make that a half step. We know the G is already fixed because it's in relation to the F, so we need to change the A. To make that a half step, that G needs to go to A flat. Now we need another whole step. So A flat to B is not a whole step, it's actually too big. It's called an augmented second. So A flat to B flat would be a whole step. Okay, then we need another whole step, B flat to C, a half step, C to D flat, and then same deal here, E flat, F. So now if we listen to this, and I would always suggest that you try playing these things on the piano so that you can both get them into your ear and check to see if you're right. This is what this sounds like. So that's our natural minor scale that starts and ends on F. So now let's go back to A minor for a second. So A minor, A natural minor, something that you'll notice between the natural minor and the major scale is that we're missing what's called the leading tone. So the 7th scale degrees. And scale degrees are just we're basically counting the notes from the first one and giving them that number. So the first note is A, so that's the first scale degree. This is the 2nd scale degree, the 3rd scale degree, 4th, 5th. That's all that is. So in the major scale, the 7th scale degree is the leading tone. It really leads us back to the tonic. In this case, that whole step doesn't have that same leading effect. So what composers did was they added a leading tone here. They added a G sharp. So they raised that 7th scale degree by a half step. So now this sounds like. So that G sharp to that A has a very nice leading effect. So the G sharp becomes the leading tone. But now the F to the G sharp sounds a bit weird. So this is called the harmonic minor scale. And we'll look at the sort of solution to the weird sounding F to G sharp in a little bit. Let's try making our F minor scale into the harmonic minor. So all you need to do is think about where is the 7th scale degree, and you raise that by a half step. So we're going to count up the scale. F is 1, G is 2, A flat is 3, B flat is 4, C is 5, D flat is 6, E flat is 7. So okay, E flat is 7, we need to raise that by a half step. Now be careful, it doesn't mean just adding a sharp, it just means taking that E flat and moving it up one half step to E natural. So now we've transformed our F natural minor scale into an F harmonic minor scale. There is one more scale, the melodic minor scale, and this one's a bit tricky because it's different going up and coming down. So going up the scale, we're going to fix this F to G sharp weirdness by raising the 6th scale degree. So F sharp to G sharp now makes that a lot smoother if you listen to it. Great. The problem then is that that last E, F sharp, G sharp, A sounds a little bit too much like the major scale. So coming down, we use the natural minor scale. We lower the G because it doesn't need to serve as a leading tone because we're leading away from the A. And we lower the F sharp as well. So let's try that with our F minor scale. So we already have the E natural. Now we just need to raise the 6th scale degree as well. So the 6th scale degree is this D flat. We'll make it into a D natural. And there we have our F melodic minor scale. Okay, before I give you one to try on your own, I want to sort of give you a quick shortcut that you can possibly take with creating these minor scales. So think about F major. We looked at that last time. Oops. It had all naturals, right? Except for the B, which was flat. So this is our F major scale. Now to change that major scale into a minor scale, what we have to do is lower the 3rd scale degree, the 6th scale degree, and the 7th scale degree. So changing F major into F natural minor, what we have to do is find the 3rd scale degree, which is A, lower it, find the 6th scale degree, D, and lower that, and then the 7th scale degree and lower that. And then you can go on to find your harmonic and melodic minor. So whether you want to use the whole, half, whole, half, whole, or you want to think about your major scales and then lower the 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degree, whichever one is more comfortable. Okay, so what I want you to do is pause the video and try to write me the D melodic minor scale going up and coming down. So pause now and we'll come back and look at the answer. Okay, I hope that you did some good work. So what we're going to do first is just add all the lines and the spaces going up and down. Give that a half note. Okay, so basically this isn't a major scale and it isn't a minor scale at the moment. So 2 ways to go about this. Either we can think about what the key would be in D major and then alter things, or we can use our whole, half, whole to turn it into a natural minor scale. So let's think about D major. We know that it has an F sharp and a C sharp. Okay, now we need to lower the 3rd scale degree, the 6th, and the 7th. So the 3rd scale degree was at F. Okay, back to F natural. The 6th is the B flat, and the 7th is the C natural. Okay, so now we have our D natural minor. So to turn that into a melodic minor scale, we're just going to look at the ascending part because the descending part is already in the natural minor that it needs to be. And we're going to raise the 6th and the 7th scale degree. So the 6th scale degree is at B flat. We're going to change that into B natural. The 7th is C. We're going to change that to C sharp. So this is going to be a melodic minor scale that starts and ends on D. Hopefully that's basically what you got. Some of these accidentals are unnecessary. They're just left over by the computer program. But as long as you have that C sharp going up and the B flat coming down, you'll be good. Okay.